Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all, so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And a laugh is treating you most deliciously. So, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So, it's just gone 2:45 in the afternoon in our old England, our delicious little babies. And yes, well, it's very cold, very grey, very dull, however, it is dry. So I hope that wherever you are in the world, my little delicious beautifuls that you all are, that life is treating you most deliciously. So 3, 2, 1, my juice little lads. Thank you, little lads. You're delicious and bright. Yes, they are, aren't they, my delicious little babies? I'll keep shining that light, shining that light, shining that light, shining that light, shining that light. Okay, my delicious little babies now then. So what have I got for you today, okay? So I was listening to our lovely, and with anybody not in that way, our lovely UK column today. Well, I always put a like on there, which I always do, and I'll always put the odd comment to say thank you. I'm always very thankful to anybody who I advertise, okay? But for most will be one-offs, and for others, well, I usually advertise them all of the time, my delicious babies. Now then, what have I got to say? So, if you could please go on to Substack, my delicious babies, you can open the app, okay? And please and thank you. Should anybody, want to try different alternative sites, and what you'd be looking for is saves. Okay, so it's capital SAVES, and then Substack. Okay, my delicious babies, and it is sorry. Let's rewind and start again. It is with Mark Steele with an E on the end. Okay, so STEELE. Okay, my delicious babies. I am actually subscribed to Mark, bless him, not in that way. And I always put a like. And well, he's letting everybody know that we are what is going on. And how let's just say there are many weapons, there we are, against you and I in the world, my delicious little babies, okay? Well, in all different countries, but we're talking about our country, old England, my delicious little babies. And to be perfectly honest with you, well, the fact of the matter is, yeah, there's a lot of weapons against us, and ones that we cannot see. Okay, my delicious little babies, which of course, there we are, is extremely dangerous in itself. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, my video yesterday took just over 9 hours. No, it wasn't. I think it was about 9 hours, 40 minutes to upload yesterday, my delicious little babies. And I only had 2 views on my video, my delicious little babies. So there we are, before I even say it, so we can see what's going on here. There we are, my delicious little babies, okay. But I'm pretty sure there's always somebody who is seeing and somebody who is always listening, okay. And thank you for that, okay, because one way or another, there we are, I always get a message to you, Rudy. Do you know what I mean? My delicious little babies, okay? But to YouTube and anybody else, stop your messing around. Time to straighten right out. Time to think of your future. Yes. You need to listen to the song and what year it is, my delicious little babies, okay? For myself, sometimes I add little words in, you know what I mean, okay? Now then, talking about Substack, so please, if you could please take a listen to Mark Steele's Saves Substack. Okay, my delicious little babies, you'll know which one it is because it's a circle, then it's got red and white, and you'll know which one it is. Okay, my delicious babies, think it's got a bit of yellow in it. Okay. The fact of the matter is, there we are, this is very important information. I'm doing my utmost. I'm not talking to any of the alternative media or mankind, our beautiful mankind like ourselves, or our lovely alternative media, not in that way with anybody who already know about Mark Steele. I am talking to our beautiful, delicious little babies who are not aware of Mark Steele, okay? But please, this is extremely important in any videos that he uh, delivers. Please, can ones please pass it on, please pass it on to whoever's in your dog and burn, or on your computer or something. My delicious little babies, there we are, because it's very important, extremely important. My left eye's still jumping. Anyway, my delicious little babies, yeah. So talking about Substack and going back to our lovely dear UK column, well, it turns out that there's no surprise. It was only a matter of time, Mads little babies, before they started on Substack. Okay, Mads little babies. So, what does this mean? Okay, so I've been listening, like I said, to our lovely dear UK column, and thank you, our lovely dear UK column. Okay, and thank you to anybody else who are advertised. Bless you all. Okay, and we must all just keep rolling, keep those wheels rolling. Okay, well. Turns out that there's a certain group, it appears, that are being, not a literal, you know what I mean, figure of speech, who are being targeted. Okay, so this means that any long-standing subscribers that, uploaders and authors and everything have had on a Substack. Well, it seems that their subscribers, bless them, the long-standing ones, are unable to get into their accounts. They're locked out of their accounts, which of course they are paid subscribers. Okay, my little babies. So what does this mean? And plus the fact that they're leaving. So, because they're paying for a service. So if they're not receiving a service because they've been asked for their age, well, I've been seeing it on YouTube. There we are, long time. And sometimes when I even click onto YouTube, which I've been forgetting to tell you, it comes up with, do I want to sign in? Do you see what I mean, Mads little babies? I just put cancel. Okay, Mads little babies, yes. And then if you want to look at certain things now, it's asking for your age. Well, I've been doing this, there we are, long time. Okay, Mads little babies, it's just that, for some will be aware of this, there we are, but for others will not be aware of it. Okay, but there we are, been doing this for a long time. But with Substack, okay, what's happening is, so they're not only are some uploaders and authors and everything, writers, not only are they losing their subscribers, but on top of this, okay, of course, they're having to pay the fees back, but then they're ending up paying more fees. So can you see, my delicious little babies, there we are, how this is rocking and rolling. They're trying to, get everybody at every angle. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, and this is what's going on. Okay, like we heard, to do with Twitter, you can have freedom of speech, but certainly not freedom of reach. Do you see what I mean? And there's larger, uploaders and everything, mad little babies, there we are, who are all going through this. Do you see? There's only certain, which are the ones who, let's just say, kiss ass. You see, there we are. Okay, they kiss ass big times. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, and they give out proper shots. There we are, and propaganda. Okay, whereas and for some of them, at one time, they would have been, I don't know, if you go back a couple of decades ago, stumbled there, rightfully so, they probably would have been rather, what's the word I'm looking for, reputable, but not these days, my delicious little babies, okay, unless ones are completely brain dead. And I'm sorry to have to use those words. I do not mean anybody who is very sadly got a brain issues, okay? What I'm saying is it's just a figure of speech. But the fact of the matter is, okay, they're the ones who get millions, okay, or the ones who are on the side of, say, let's just say families or whatever are connected to, there we are, connected to other families, the drill, mad and the little babies. Do you see what I mean? They get all the coverage because that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to lock everybody else out, or anybody who doesn't follow the narrative, because they are not alike in this. Do you see what I mean? They want us all in the same pot. Do you see what I mean, mad little babies? And because we're not all hopping in the pot, okay, they are finding it, there we are, for even saying most difficult. Okay, well, just to let to whom it may concern know, there we are, that it is going to become more difficult. Okay, and it is going to become, to whom it may concern, and you little lackeys, more difficult, there we are, day by day, because it's quite obvious to see. There's so many now, okay, there we are, talking about this smart delicious little babies, okay, but the only ones who follow the leaders, getting paid their ka-ching, 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 you know, the price is right, come on down, you know, like I've just said, are the ones who are in it. Do you know what I mean? And none of us out here, you and I, we're not in it. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, I'm highly delighted about that. I wouldn't want to be in that, because when you're in that net, because that's what they're in, they do not, you know, they might have all of the ching, 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 ching. They might have all that martelish little babies and what they feel is more. But the fact of the matter is, when you're in that net, okay, who's the ones, really, if you look at it, we are going through a very difficult, there we are, time right now, martelish little babies. But really, who are the ones? If we're looking at this as who is freer, there we are, there we are, it is you and I. Do you see what I mean? Okay, we're going through the chart. But if you look at them, they've got to dance to the tune. You know what I mean? Let the music play. I just want to dance another way. Do you know what I mean? Well, they're having to dance to a tune. Do you see? There we are. Do you see what I mean, Martin babies? But for you and I, you know, yes, we're going through sharks. Yes, we are. We got it left, right, and centre. They're throwing the old flipping kitchen sink at us in our old England, Martin babies. Not to mention other countries, sadly, who are going through a load of sharks as well. But very sadly, we cannot do anything about that. And that's not myself being selfish. I'm just done saying it the way it is. We need to concentrate, there we are, on our own country. Otherwise, we may find ourselves martyred babies. Anyway, words of spells, that will not happen, okay? If enough of us have that positive mental attitude and say, this will not happen, and just keep repeating it to yourselves. Do you see what I mean? Please and thank you, martyred babies. I'm not pointing at you, that's rude, okay? The fact of the matter is, if we just keep with that positive mindset, okay? They've got nowhere to go. Okay, martitious little babies, and of course I've got nothing across my shoulders. So that means no, they've got nowhere to go. Okay, so this is what it is. It is battle of wills, isn't it? You know, mind you, yeah. It's been a battle of the wills for many decades, my delicious little babies, okay? And of course, you know, let's go back to not so very many years ago, my delicious little babies, if you follow me, yes. So let's not forget about that, my delicious little babies, okay? Imagine it's so very, very, very sad. And with a heavy heart, I have to say. Imagine how many were having to sort out their wills, not to mention how many, say for the ones who have never had a will. Okay, my delicious little babies who all of a sudden there we are, there now then, had to make a will. Okay, my delicious little babies. Okay, so we need to spare thoughts about that as well. That's just came into my noddle, my delicious babies. We really need to spare thoughts about that, okay? And about everything that they're doing, because let's face it, they want, there we are, everybody's will. Whatever you own, whatever you have, you see what I mean? They are wanting it. There we are. Okay, my delicious little babies, okay? So we must just keep going on the way we're going on. Do you see what I mean, my delicious little babies? You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, isn't it? That's what I always believe in. Anyway, my delicious little babies, so that's that. Now then, I'd like you, so I'll tick off our lovely UK column, and I've already ticked off our lovely saves Substack with Mark Steele, okay? And bless them all for all of the hard work, anybody who I advertise, my delicious little babies, and especially the ones on a regular basis. Thank you so very much. I'm very so thankful and so very grateful for all of your videos, you know, to everybody, okay, because you are all, there we are, bless you like a breath of fresh air, and for that I'm so very thankful and grateful, okay. I'm not entirely agreeing with this business where they talk about ones who work and ones who do not work, okay. For myself, I happen to put it this way, see things very differently now, okay. But other than that, the fact of the matter is, my delicious little babies, because again, it's division, Okay, mad delicious little babies. And like I said, months ago, I heard on another channel who I did used to advertise. I don't need to advertise them no more. They're the ones who don't like to be called little. It's just pathetic, actually, in itself. The fact of the matter is, my delicious little babies, is that, a dear elderly gentleman who'd done decades and decades of research, okay? And it turns out that anybody who claims any form of benefit, I said this a long time back on one of my videos, maybe not everybody was paying attention, maybe, okay? So I'm not talking to you, my delicious little babies. The fact of the matter is, your dear gentleman, elderly gentleman said there now then, that when they keep pushing out, that it's, basically the rich or the middle class who are paying for the poor, that's not entirely true, my delicious little babies, okay. But of course, I have said this to many, and on my video, and I have said it to many others, and, not being nasty to anybody, but who really even listens to me, my delicious little babies, not a lot. Because the reason why it's played on my noddle for years, I thought, well, hold on a minute. They keep pushing this out to do the tax, you know what I mean? And that anybody who's not working, okay, well, minus, anybody, bless them, who are disabled or, unable to work for whatever reason, that we seem to be the problem out here, my delicious little babies. Well, here's the fact of the matter. Has ones and let's not forget about ones with businesses and large businesses, okay? They usually have very good there we are. Stumbled there, rightfully so. Very good bookkeepers, my delicious little babies, where they pay a lot less tax, okay? There we are. So we must not forget about these things now then. Okay. So when ones are chatting this, please spare a thought. There we are, for every single word that one is saying now, okay? And that is any platform. Okay, be very, very wise with your words. There we are, isn't it? Okay. So, now then. So, the only ones I've got left now, right, I've got two more. And these are new ones, my delicious little babies, okay? And I'll tell you who we could do with. Our dear, not in that way, our dear Tom Numbers. Okay, my delicious little babies, I mentioned him a long time ago, okay? Many times, okay? He's banging, not in that way. Psych Space Club on YouTube, my delicious little babies. I think it's a capital P and then space, a capital C. Okay, my delicious little babies, Psych Club. I don't know if he's probably got about 95,000. I haven't looked lately, my delicious little babies. Anyway, the fact of the matter is this. There we are, he's banging with numbers. Okay, my delicious little babies. And for anybody who'd like to go onto his channel and just take a listen, okay, he's exceptionally good at working things out. Okay, I will never call anybody an expert, no matter what field they're in, because nobody's an expert. Okay, my delicious little babies, they should abolish it. There we are, from the dictionary. Okay, because nobody is an expert. Okay, we are all constantly learning, and nobody will know everything. And if we go back not so many years back, my delicious little babies, well, I never seen many experts. Did you, my delicious little baby? Because I never seen any. Okay, so let's now. Oh, and by the way, my delicious little babies, I just want to mention this. You know this Renee, who was supposedly shot in America. Was it, what did they call it? Is it Minneapolis? That doesn't sound right, does it? Minneapolis. I don't know, Martin babies. Anyway, so please don't quote me on that part. It's in America. Okay, Martin baby. Well, I thought to myself, hold on a minute. I'd only seen a tiny bit of footage. First time I mentioned it, Martin babies, and it's probably more than likely going to be the last time. Okay. Fact of the matter is, you only seen a tiny bit. Okay. So myself, did I believe it? Just join the dots. No. Okay. So you only have to go on to our lovely, not in that way, our lovely mag space bitter space truth. It's all in capitals, my delicious little babies. Next level. He's up to 14.9 thousand subscribers on old YouTube, my delicious little babies. Of course, I'm subscribed to him on YouTube, and I'm also subscribed to him on our lovely BitChute that unfortunately we cannot view in our old England because of our appalling governments. Okay, my delicious little babies. So, yeah, there we are. And he's just done telling it. There we are, the way it is. Okay. So, and it'd be interesting to hear what Fake Space Nukes Phil has got to say as well. My delicious little babies, okay? Because he'll more than likely, there we are, the same as ourselves, there we are, say that as well. Okay, my delicious little babies. Now, for some, they just do believe it. Okay, but for years, I have not believed, you know, for many things I've seen, I do not believe. Okay, my delicious little babies. And some would say to me, well, you cannot say that. You cannot say, well, yes, I can say that. Okay, because they bullshitted us, there we are, for long enough. And if you look at the footage that Mag Blessing is showing, it takes all of these old Bill in America behind, and one's in a little suit, you know, okay, to all stand there, okay, and one's in their uniforms, you know, and everything, and another one's in their little suits, you know. Why does it take all of those to try and convince everybody, there we are, that something's happened? Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? There we are, just asking a question, isn't it? Simple things. It's in front, there we are, of our eyes. If we're blessed, so that's nothing against anybody who cannot very sadly see or hear, but if we're blessed to have sight and we're blessed to have hearing, there we are. It's quite obvious, there we are, to see, okay? I'm also pleased to hear as well, cannot remember where I flipping heard it on now, and that's being genuine, that one's now questioning the Charlie Cork. Okay, my delicious babies, there we are. Okay, so there's a lot more now questioning about effing time. What flipping misses, right, my delicious babies, what whiff? When somebody's passed now then, your so-called husband, you know, let's get the tissue out. And then fireworks all flipping go off. But she stood there. Oh, look at me. Feel sorry for me. Silly damn nonsense now, if ever I've seen. Came out to listen about how did nobody not see? Apart from the ones like myself, Mag, Fake Nukes Phil, you know, and there's others, you know, I'm pretty sure, I wouldn't say probably loads, but, you know, there's others who could also see. So why is it so then now that we can see it, then they cannot see? Damn rink, man. So I'm pleased that one's a questioning. Of course, you're still going to have one to carry the story. They're still doing it now, my delicious little babies. It's a bit like, what's that other one that they keep talking about? Yeah, they keep talking about the Epstein. I remember, my delicious babies, I'm going to repeat this again. I remember to do the Epstein, right? I mean, personally, I have not looked into it. I've heard a bit about it. Am I interested in it? That sounds very selfish. No, I'm not interested in it. Okay, if I was interested in it, then I'd spend all my flipping days and nights chatting about it, but I'm not. Okay, my delicious babies. But there is something I want to say. When David Mahoney, okay, now I have mentioned our dear David Mahoney, not in that way, okay, and he is on YouTube, okay. You only have to put it in, then he will come up, okay. I think he's on 1.77 thousand subscribers because I'm subscribed to David as well, bless him, and of course on YouTube. But of course, we cannot see our lovely YouTube once again. Okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, and he was talking to this woman's, her dad, okay. Used to be, was he a caretaker or something on the island or something? Well, to be honest with you, my delicious babies, I listened to all of that conversation all the way through. And I'm going to be honest, it's sounding very different to everything else we're hearing, my delicious little babies. Okay, so that's all I'm saying. That's why I listen, there we are, to other angles. But usually when it comes to the Epstein, 9 times out of 10, I click off. And that's not me being nasty or being anything. It's just that I believe as well, there we are, this is part of a distraction, just like the JFK, when his head was blown off. I mean, you only have to look. I mean, all of the bodyguards come out the way and everything. You know, I mean, I've looked at the film of that, okay? Mad Delicious Baby. Anyway, and then they keep going on and on and on. So while everybody, not being nasty now, Mad Delicious Babies, and everybody's going on and on and on about that, there's other things now that are going on behind the curtain, okay? While everybody else, there we are, is getting damn distracted. Okay, so because I come across as a bitch and just be done, there we are, saying it the way it is. I'm not saying that there hasn't been survivors. I'm not saying anything, okay? That's not for me to say. I wasn't there, was I? Simple things, I wasn't there. So who can say unless we're actually there? But the fact of the matter is, it seems to myself, there are certain who just want to keep going on and on. They just keep on trying. Do you know what I mean? And while that's happening, we've got, which we've known for years, very sadly, there is other things going on. Like little bairns going missing, like treacherous things going on. Mad delicious little babies, okay? And I do put it down, which I do. I do put it down to the ones are just not, you know, either it's not registering with them, you know, some of these other uploaders, okay? You know, because there's thousands of uploaders now to Delicious Babies, believe me on that one, okay? The fact of the matter is, either they're just, you know, or they just cannot be bothered to, or they're just running off a story from somebody else's story. It's like Peter the Parrot, isn't it? Mad Delicious Babies starts up as a dump and ends up as diarrhea. That's the old-fashioned saying, Mad Delicious Babies, anyway. So these two new ones now, Mad Delicious Babies, okay? And I am advertising them for a reason. So please, if you could go on to Psych Club with Tom Numbers. But I've just, because I just wanted to mention him, I've not wrote him in, but I shall do when I finish my video. The first one, Mad Delicious Babies. Let me go for this one first, okay? This is not really the one that you need the numbers, okay, to go to Psych Club. It would be the other uploader that I'm going to mention, okay? So this uploader, Mad Delicious Babies, happens to have 374 subscribers, Mad Delicious Babies. And the uploader is called Capital M. This is in YouTube, Mad Delicious Babies. Should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, Matt, capital M, the rest in little writing, ATT. Now it's all together. This is all together, Mad Delicious Babies. Capital T, Taylor, TAYLOR. Then two capitals, TV, and then capital E, extra. Then the rest little writing, XTRA. So it should read, once typed into the old search engine space bar in YouTube, Mad Delicious Babies, Matt Taylor TV Extra. Okay, Mad Delicious Babies, that is the uploader, okay? And he doesn't do long videos from what I can see, Mad Delicious Babies. This is only seconds long, not even 50 seconds. The world is changing. Okay, Mad Delicious Babies, and there are other little videos, okay? So I always, there we are, I always say these things for a reason. Okay, Mad Delicious Babies, okay? It's like picking out little bits. Okay, Mad Delicious Babies. Now then, the final one, Mad Delicious Babies, is, right, okay, this one is called, okay, in your space bar in YouTube. Once again, should anybody happen to have any form of an interest, I really hope so. Okay, Mad Delicious Babies. And, you know, with any uploaders, not in that way, I'll repeat once again. Capital G, Grand, space, capital P, Prince, space, capital S, Simon, and then space, capital C, Carangi. Okay, I'm just going to spell that out for you, Carangi. So it's capital C, then all the rest is little writing. ARANGI. Carangi. Okay, Martilish babies. And of course, with the Simon, it's a capital, the rest in little writing. And then with the G for grand, capital G, and then the rest in little writing. And then Prince, which is a capital P, and the rest in little writing, Martilish babies. He happens to have 19.2 thousand subscribers, Martilish babies. Now, he started on his channel in 2006. Martilicious little babies. Okay, now the videos that I want you to please take a look at. Okay, this is all on his channel. Okay, so we have got the most recent, which has been uploaded, I think, about an hour ago. No, it isn't. It's about 8 hours ago or 9 hours ago. Should I read the abduction site? The abduction site. Now this is to do with the greys, Martilicious babies. Okay. Now, the next one, Martilish babies, I'd like you to take a look at. Of course, he has lots of videos. Okay, Martilish babies, okay, to choose from. Okay. Should read, my first home had coding for elite families. Okay, Martilish babies, so I'm just going to repeat that again for you, shall I? My first home had coding for elite families. Okay, Martilish babies. And then the third one I'd like you to look at, but this I think was about 4 months ago. I think this could be about 4 months ago, Martilish babies, this one. Okay, you'll know the one because it should say as a title, blue and white stripes. This is all on the same channel. Grand Prince Simon Carangi. Okay, Martilish babies, blue and white stripes. Okay, Martilicious little babies, yes. Okay. Now, like I say, a lot of his videos are not long. Okay, Martilish little babies, but very interesting. And this is where I feel when I was watching this, okay, where Tom Numbers, there we are, would be able to come in and there we are, to work all this out, there we are, and to break all this down. Okay, Martilish babies, that was just the thoughts that came into my noddle. But bless these two subscribers, Martilicious little babies, okay, bless them. Okay, so I have subscribed to them, so I have subscribed to you, Grand Prince Simon Carangi and Matt Taylor TV Extra. Yes, I have subscribed to you, okay, and I am advertising yourself today. Okay, so that's that. Now I've got to leave my book open because I've got to write down who else was it who I just talked about on my video. Tom Numbers. No, I'll write it down now just before I forget my little beautifuls, right? Just please excuse me for a mojo. Okay, I've just got to write this information down before my noddle forgets it. Okay, Tom Numbers. I know who it is. Okay, Martilish babies, now I can close my book. So now what we've got to do, we've now got to go back to where we need to go back to, Martilicious little babies, okay? I'm sure that you'll all be able to work out what I'm talking about with the last upload, bless. I'm sure that there we are, ones will be able to follow me, okay? Okay, to some on this dear uploader, Prince Simon's channel, some things may seem confusing. You may have to go backwards in order to go forwards. There we are, Martilicious little babies, okay? But I'm pretty sure, there we are, you're going to get it pretty quickly for those who've got the know-how. Okay, Martilish babies, all there's they're veg stocks, aren't they? Or chicken stock or beef stock, aren't they? Know-how. Okay, Martilish babies, okay. And yet, one last thing I want to talk about now. What's been keep coming into my noddle for days and days and days, and it has actually on off, but I've just never mentioned it, Martilish babies, there we are, for past few years especially, is my I love them so. My beautiful dear little nanny, my beautiful dear little granddad, yeah. My beautiful dear little nana's surname. Maybe to whom it may concern, and whoever else, likes to get information. Okay? Well, maybe they know the surname, the maiden name of my beautiful dear little nana. Because I know that I know it. You know what I mean? So the chances are, there we are, they know something. Okay, there we are, my delicious little babies, okay? And I'm just going to leave it there. Well, of course, I'm not going to give out, my surname or my beautiful dear little Nana Bear's maiden name. Not at all. But after all, a lot of paperwork and records is in Belgium, isn't it? Anyway, my delicious little babies, so we're going to see now how many hours this video is going to take to upload, my delicious little babies. Do you know what I mean? So I just thought I'd leave you with that. So wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony and bright blessings to each and every one of you. And may your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families, may you all be fully protected, and how I'll love you, sir. You're beautiful, wonderful and delicious, and I'll love you. Okay, my delicious little babies. So until my next video, you just please look after. I know that sometimes it sounds like I'm talking in riddles. At other times, it probably sounds like I'm coming across as a complete bitch. And at other times, I can have my, let's just say, uppity moments. Okay, my delicious little babies. However, that does not make me a header where all the cups are not in the cupboard, or the lift does not go up to the top floor. Okay, whatever I say, there we are. I fully know what I am saying. Okay, my delicious little babies, and of course, there's always a reason for why, there we are, I do what I do. Okay, but let's please get the numbers up from 374. Please, let's get the numbers up further. And of course, with our lovely, and not in that way with anybody, our lovely grand Prince Simon Carangi. Let's get his numbers up too. Okay, my delicious little babies, because I'm pretty sure that doesn't mean no. Put it this way, that, ones will have the most delightful time. There we are, working things out. Okay, my delicious little babies, take care. Thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, okay? And with any of these videos that I advertise, if you do happen to find them interesting, could you please, and you feel that they're going to help others, please pass them on. Because one never knows who, when you're passing it on to somebody, where it leads. Okay, my delicious little babies, so very much love. Take care. Thank you. Goodbye.